So hello students, so in this video we will be studying about factoring meaning and the types of factoring. Okay, let's see the meaning. So before going to the meaning, we will understand with the example that what is an factoring. Okay, so in nowadays there are being day-to-day business means where there will be a client. Okay, where there will be a client means who sell the goods. Okay, there will be a client means who will sell the goods on credit basis to the customer. Okay, to the customer who is buyer of goods. Okay, means nowadays there is a day-to-day business means where a client means who is a seller of goods who will sell the goods to the customers on credit basis. Means on the credit basis means here what happens, clients he will send the various invoices or the bills to the customers directly, and he also collect the payments directly from the customers from up to date or day to day. Okay, so here the two problems may can arise. Means the first problem will be like blockage of fund, means where sometimes where the customer will not pay the fund, or here the client should knock the doors of the customers or it to the debtors to pay the money. So definitely it will be a huge process, and in the most of the cases what happens, the customer will not pay the amount on given date, or there will be sometimes where the debts will become totally bad debts, means where the amount cannot be easily recoverable. So to avoid these difficulties, here comes a factor. Okay, here comes a factor. Basically we can call him as a third party, or we can say him as a agent. um, Agent, or we can call him as a agent or the third party. So what the client will uh, sell to this send to the customer, that from nowadays I will not collect the amount, so on behalf of me this factor will collect the amount from you. Okay, so he will inform to the customer that the collection will be done by the nowadays from now onwards from the factor. So this factor is given all the powers and authorities by this client or by the sellers to collect the money on his behalf from the uh, client or the on the customers. But uh, but friend uh, but students, in this world nowadays no one will work for a free. Nowadays no one will work or do these services on the free basis. So the factor what happens, he will charge the fee. He will charge some free, or we call as sometimes as a commission. He will charge a commissions. So what happens here, he will charge the commissions. So what the factor he does, whatever the client has the invoices bills, the client will give to the factors. The factor will go to these customers and collect the bad debts. He will collect the debts and the bad debts amount. He converts that invoices bills into the cash. He will collect the cash and he will give to the client. What next client will do, he will give him as a commissions. So this commission will be on the percentage basis. So nowadays bank is using this term, like they are doing like most of the factoring method they are following to collect the amount. So this is a that factor does. And one more, what things he will do, whatever the client has given the invoices, bills, directly he'll go to the customers and he will collect all the amount and he will give. Before collecting that bill, the factor will, what he will do, he give 80% advance to the client. 80% he will give advance, only the 80% of receivables amount he will give to the this client. Okay, 80% he will give. Afterwards he will charge certain amount, so problems will solve automatically, the cash is coming. Sometime what he will charge the commissions on percentage basis. So this is the meaning of factoring. Hope you understood. This is a factoring. So we'll study according to the meaning. Here what says, factoring may be broadly defined as a relationship. It is defined as a relationship created by an agreement. Okay, it is a relationship that is created by an agreement between the seller of the goods, services, and financial institutions called the factor. Okay, factoring may be defined as a relationship created by an agreement between the seller of the goods and a financial institutions called the factor, whereby later whatever the purchases of receivables of the former and also controls the administration receivables to the former. Means what the main motive and objective of the factoring is whatever all the receivables, invoices are there, he will convert into the cash and he give to the client. After that he will charge certain types of commission, that is called as a factoring. Next, there are certain factoring provides the following services. Sometimes he may ask for two questions: what are the services provided by the factoring? The first service will provide collection of bad debts. Means bad debts means sometimes the money which is not recoverable. For that the factor will collect all the bad debts. Second, he will give the protection of bad debts. This is a services provided by the factor. Means first he will collect all the bad debts, second he will protect the bad debts. So 2 marks he may can ask what is the meaning of factoring, what are the services provided by the factoring. Okay, so next is, what are the parties to the factoring? There are three parties involved in factoring transactions. First is the buyer, the seller, the factor means financial institutions. Okay, first the buyer of the goods, means here the buyer enters like into an agreement with the sellers. Means the buyers enters an agreement with the seller and negotiate the terms and conditions like for the purchasing goods on credit. Secondly, he takes the delivery goods along with the invoices, bill and various instructions from the seller that he should make the payment to the factor on due date. Thirdly, what happens? Buyer will make the payment. Okay, buyer will make the payment to the factor on time or ask for an extensions of time. In case of default in payment on due date, means he faces some legal actions at the like he hand over to the factors to collect the money. So this is a buyer. Second is the seller. Means here sellers enters into the contract for sale of goods on credit as per the like purchases order sent by the buyer, stating like various terms and conditions, and he sells goods to the buyers as per the contract. Apart from that, the seller, he sends copies of invoices like a delivery challan along with the goods to the buyer, and he gives the various instructions to the buyer to make payment on due date. So this is a seller. Next comes a third parties is factoring. Means here factor entries to an agreement with the seller for rendering factoring services, that is like collection of receivables or debts. And apart from that, here the factor pays like 80% or more of the amount of receivables copies of sales documents, and the factor receives payments from the buyers on due dates, and pays the balance money to the seller after deducting the services charge. So this is a parties to the factoring. So next we will study the types of factoring. So the first type is recourse factoring. So what happens in recourse factoring? Usually we have two types of debts, that is debt and bad debts. So what happens in recourse factoring? Here the client will say to the factor that you collect the invoice and bills receivables from only debts amount. You collect only the debts amount. Whatever all the bad debts will be there, I will be recovering. Okay. Here what happens? The client will say to the factor that you collect the money of only debts. You don't give focus on bad debts. This bad debts amount will be collected from my side. That is called recourse factoring. And one more important point, in recourse factoring, whatever the commission or fee the factor will be charging will be low because he is collecting only debt amount, because the clients tells that you collect only debt amount. For that purpose, here the commissions or the factoring fee will be low compared to the less. Okay, so this is a recourse factoring. Next comes hope understood. Second is non-recourse factoring. In non-recourse factoring, what happens? The client will say to the factor that you should collect both the amount. You should collect both the amount, that is debt amount as well as bad debt amount. Okay, understood? In non-recourse factoring, what happens? The client will say to the factor that you should collect both the amount, that is debt amount as well as bad debt amounts. Okay, if any person not pay the bad debt amounts, means you should pay for me. I will be not responsible for that. You will be the responsible for the both, that is debt amount as well as to the bad debt amounts. While in this, the commission and the fee charged by the factor will be high because it's collecting both the amount. In non-recourse factoring, what happens? The risk of bad debt should be done by the factor, and he cannot claims the amount from the selling firm, since the factor bears the risk of non-payment. In case of non-recourse factoring, the commissions or the fee charge for the services will be higher under the non-recourse factoring. Okay, understood? Non-recourse, what happens in recourse factoring means the factor will collect only debt amount, where the fee or commission will be low. When you compare to the non-recourse factoring, means the factor should collect both the amount, that is debt amount as well as bad debt amounts. Okay, here the factors fees commission will be high, that is called as non-recourse factoring. Third is advance factoring. Here what happens in advance factoring, here factor will pay like 70 to 90% of amount to the client advance only. Okay, before he is going to collect the amount from the customers, before that this factor will pay all this means 75 to 90% of amount advance to the client only, not to the customers. We pay to the client, means here factors pays a percentage amount, that 75 to 90% of the receivable in advance to the client, and remaining the balance paid on the guaranteed payment date, that is called as advance factoring. Okay, hope you understood. Means in advance factoring the factor pays 75 to 90% of amount or receivables to the client advance only. As soon as the factor receivables are approved, the advance amount is made available to the client by the factors. So the factor charges here discount like interest on advance payment from the date of such payment on the actual collection of receivable by the factor. Okay, this was the advance factor. Next comes maturity factoring. This is the opposite of advance factoring. What used to happen in advance, he should pay the advance. Here what happens, he will not pay any advance amount. Okay, in any advance amount to the client. Once he collect all the amount, apart from that he takes his fees or commissions, remaining he will give amount to the client. Okay, in advance he is to pay advance factoring, he is to pay advance. When comes to the maturity factoring, in case of maturity factoring, here factoring will not pay any advance amount is paid to the client, will not pay any advance amount to the client, and the payment is made to the client only after the collection of receivables or the guaranteed payment date, as the case may be. Okay, in maturity factoring there will be no advance amount paid to the client, and the payment is made only to the client when the collections of receivables are made. So thus maturity factoring consists of like sales of account receivables to the factor with no payment of advance funds at the time of the sale. Okay, understood. Advance factoring and maturity factoring. Advance means the payment is made advance. In maturity factoring no advance is paid to the client, only after the collection is made. Okay, next comes fifth type is, that is conventional or full factoring. So under this conventional or full factoring, here the factor will performs almost all the services. The name itself indicates full factoring, means under this system the factor performs almost all the services, like he performs all the services like collection of receivables, like maintenance of sales ledgers, like credit collections, credit control and credit insurance. He performs this all the services. Okay, in full factory means here factors performs all the services like maintenance of sales ledgers, credit collections, credit control, credit insurance, collection of receivables. And thus here the factor also fix up a limited based of the bills. Okay, the factor fixes up a limited base on the bills advance outstanding maturity wise and takes the corresponding risks of default or credit risks. Okay, understood? Conventional full factoring means he performs all the services. Next comes sixth type of factoring is domestic factoring. Means in this factoring there are three parties. In domestic factoring there are three parties like customer we have client or factor. Okay, customer means buyer, client means seller, factor means financial institutions. In domestic factoring, suppose all these three parties reside in same country, means it is called domestic factoring. Okay, domestic factoring means this all the three parties should be residents of the same country. For then only it is called as domestic factoring. That is, customers, client, factor should be of residents of the same country. For then only we call as domestic factoring. Okay. Okay, next type of factoring is, that is, export factoring. So export factoring is almost similar to domestic factoring. Okay, it is similar to the domestic factoring. See, except that there are four parties in this export factoring. In domestic there was three factoring, but when it comes to the export factoring there are four parties to the factoring transactions. Okay, namely the exporter means for him called as selling firm or client. Second will be import or the customer. Third will be the export factor, and the fourth will be the import factor. Okay, in export factoring there will be four parties. First is the exporter, means the seller, the importer means the customers, the export factor and the import factor. Since two factors are involved in export factoring, so it is called two-factor system of factoring. Two-factor systems results in two separate but they are interrelated. It is also termed as cross-border or international factoring. Okay, for export factoring we also call as international factoring, but there should be four parties, then only we call as export factoring. Next comes limited factoring. Means the name itself indicates limited. Means here what happens, the factors will select on his limited basis. Means whether he want to means how much invoices, bills, receivables he want to receive or not. On the limited basis only he will select. Okay, under limited factor means the factor discounts only certain invoices on selective basis, and then he converts that credit bills into cash in respect of those bills only. Means limited factors means only he only selects that invoices whether he want to convert that credit bills into cash or not. That is called as limited factor. Means he only select, but only on limited basis. Next, ninth is selected seller based factoring. Here what happens, the seller will decide. Means here the seller will fix to the customers from whom he wants to collect the amount. Means here what happens, the selected seller based factoring means the client will fix those invoices only that factor should accept, that invoices bills only he should collect. Okay, hope you understood. Means here what happens in selected seller means the client will tell to the factor that whichever customer's list I am giving, that list only you should not today you should collect that, convert into the cash basis. You should not, you will not select which clients you customers you want. I will give the list, then that list only you should convert in the cash. That is called as selected seller based factor. Means the sellers sells all these account receivables to the factors along with invoices, delivery like channels, contract, etc. After invoicing the customers, the factor will performs all his functions of maintaining the accounts like collecting the debts, sending reminders to the buyers, and do all functions for the seller. Here the sellers are normally approved by the factor before entering into the factoring agreement. Okay, understood. Next comes that is selected buyer based factor. This is the opposite of seller based factoring. Here factor will be deciding. Okay, here what happens, the factor will decide that from whom he wants to go to the buyers and collect the amount. Means here what happens, the factor first of all selects the buyers on the basis of their goodwill or credit worthiness and prepares an approved list of them. Means here what happens, here the first factor will select the buyers on the basis of their goodwill, means reputations and credit worthiness. Then he makes a list. The approved buyers of the company approach the factor for discounting their purchases of bills receivables drawn in the favor of companies. So this was a selected buyer based factoring. Next comes disclosed factoring. Means disclosed factoring means in disclosed factoring, here the name of the factor is mentioned. Means in India we have we have factoring company like we have Canbank Factors Limited, or we have IFCI Factors Limited. In disclosed factory means the name of the factory is mentioned in the invoice by the supplier, telling the buyer to make payment to this factor on due date. However, the supplier may continue to bear the risks of bad debts without passing to the factor. The factor assumes the risks only under non-recourse factoring also agreements. Okay, in disclosed factoring means the name of the factor is mentioned on the invoice, that the supplier will tell you make payment to this factor on due date. That is called as disclosed factoring. Undisclosed factoring means it is the opposite of disclosed. Means the name of the factor will be not mentioned. Means the name of the factor is not disclosed in the invoice, but still the control lies with the factor only. Means the name will not disclose, but the control will lies with the factor. Means the factor maintains sales ledger of the sales of goods and provides short-term finance against the sales invoice. Okay, this was the types of factoring. So this is a compulsory questions, types of factoring in exams. Okay.